Evening, ladies and gentlemen, awesome people that you are. We are here tonight to support a great cause. For those that didn't hear earlier, it's www.cufoundation.ca. The Rotary also has a silent auction. Some of the things that are available are on these things that are on the easels, but please go online. Find it, ask someone. Like I said, we can write it on your forehead how to get there. So we've got a packed show for you. Thank you so much for coming. And who I'm going to introduce first, her name is Ulia. Sorry about that. But I'll tell you who I am first for the latecomers. I got a Facebook text saying, "You're going to MC." Okay, I got this. My name's Tia Dogstetter. My husband and I over there own the Red Russian Garlic Farm on Pratt Road. I'm also the secretary for the Gibson's Chamber of Commerce, and I'm the incoming president for SOWN, which is the Self-Employed Women's Network. So we're going to do the best that we can. We're going to try to help as much as we can. So any information that you have, hunt me down, hunt one of the other people down, and we will get you that information. So the very first person is going to be Yulia. There we go. And her mom is going to come up. She's got some lovely things to say, and you'll hear some beautiful music. Thank you.
On February 24th, Russia launched a brutal and unprovoked attack on Ukraine, a sovereign state, a country of more than 40 million people who have sought nothing but peace and freedom. The people of Ukraine have inspired the world with their courage and resilience. Vladimir Putin estimated it would take him 3 days to get to Kyiv and conquer Ukraine. 17 days later, Ukraine is standing strong, more united than ever, defending freedom, something that should never have to be defended in the first place. As a Ukrainian, I am very proud of the strength and resilience of Ukrainian people. As a Canadian, I am moved by the unity and the willingness to help, showcased by all of Canadians from all ethnic communities and walks of life. Seeing the audience of more than 100 people in such a small community on the Sunshine Coast come together and stand with Ukraine is truly inspiring. We are here today because Ukraine desperately needs help. I am sure most of us feel, watching the news, that there is a sense of hopelessness and inability to act. But with every small action and small donation, everything helps. For those in the medical centers that are trying to keep people alive, to keep babies in the NICU alive, to keep the soldiers coming in through the hospitals alive. We need to get supplies for women and children stuck at the border. We need medical supplies, and we need other emergency aid to prevent more civilians from dying and to help those who are fleeing. Over 2.5 million of women and children have left Ukraine, and the borders are backed up. These are people that have left their fathers, their sons, and their husbands behind. Their homes were bombed, and they did not have much time to pack, other than the essentials. My mom, who arrived in Canada on March 8th, is just one example. This is not just a Ukraine issue, it's a global issue. The whole world is watching Ukraine in awe. We see Ukrainians fight back this beast, standing strong and not waver in their commitment that Ukraine must exist today and that Ukraine must exist tomorrow. Russia is fighting against the entire world, and Ukraine is fighting for the entire world. Ukrainians are reminding all the people out there how valuable freedom and liberty are. Today's fundraiser is a tribute to our community is amazing. Our volunteers are fabulous. We are all making a difference. It is an absolute pleasure to be part of such an event, an evening of compassion, an evening of generosity, and music for the soul. Thank you everyone for your support. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. І вчора, рідна мамо, ви мене будили рано, промінь сонця зустрічали солов'ї, пастухи череду гнали, на сопілках вигравали, горлицею торкотіли ви мені. Вже дарує сонечко новий нам день, жеребцями співаний ще пісень, щедроти черпни у ньому доброти, а у ранків золотистих чистоти. Диво сили набирайся у землі, пам'ятай, що десь слова мої. Вчора, рідна мамо, ви мене будили рано, промінь сонця диво граєм розквітав. Верби коси розпустили, до водиці нахилились, вітер в гаї вашу пісню заспівав. Вже дарує сонечко новий нам день, жеребцями співаний ще пісень, щедроти черпни у ньому доброти, а у ранків золотистих чистоти. Диво сили набирайся у землі, пам'ятай, що десь слова мої. Вчора, рідна мамо, ви мене будили рано, скільки митей світанкових відійшло. Вікна сумові літають, ваші руки підростають, віддаю їм вашу ласку і тепло. Вже дарує сонечко новий нам день, жеребцями співаний ще пісень, щедроти черпни у ньому доброти, а у ранки золотистих чистоти. Диво сили набирайся у землі, пам'ятай, що десь слова мої.
She's a beautiful pianist, but she's going to be singing for us this evening. So please put your hands together for him. One moment, please.
Добрий вечір всім. One, two, three, just checking.
Hello, everybody. We're from Ukraine, and we would like to start with a beautiful poem about our beautiful country in Ukrainian language, and then my beautiful French will translate in English. Живи, Україно, живи для краси, і сили, і слави, і волі. Шуми, Україно, як рідні ліси, як вітер в широкому полі. До віку тебе не скують ланцюги, і руки не скрутять ворожі. Стоять твої вірні сини навкруги, з шаблями в руках насторожі. Стоять, присягають тобі на шаблях, і жити, і вмерти з тобою. І рідні знамена в кривавих боях ніколи не вкриті ганьбою.
And now let's try that in English. Live Ukraine. Be in sake of beauty, strength, glory, and freedom. Roar Ukraine, like your native forests, like that wind in wild fields. You shall never be chained, never shall the enemies tie you down. Your loyal sons are gathering around, holding sabers, guarding you. They stand strong, swearing on their swords to live and die with you, so that the kindred flag shall never be disgraced. We will be adding a little bit of introduction for each song we picked. So the first song is actually from our recent times, written by Odin Kanoe, and an accompanist with another band, Okanality. So they're obviously very important to Ukraine, and they're describing the entire situation. This first song is called On the Side of the River That Doesn't Exist Anymore. We picked it because we want to show that even though something was destroyed, vanished, disappeared, on board of it, you can actually build a new, beautiful life and still walk on the same streets, same environment, but with stronger spirits.
Чому мені сниться, як знову і знову гуляєм з тобою по рідному Львову, там пахне весною, і сонце сідає на березі річки, якої немає, і дивляться леви на тебе ласкаво, і варять бажання, і запахом кави, і вільно на розі між пеклом і раєм, у Львові так просто своє не вмирає. Дихає місто весни моє, місто весни моє. Бентежне століття загоює рани, ще до повноліття тут всі ветерани,
наповнене світлом минуле прощає. Чомусь тут ніколи не хочеться чаю, не хочеться снігу, не хочеться слави. Нехай дістається церквам з хорувами, ми просто з тобою вдвох погуляєм на березі річки, якої немає. Дихає місто весни моє, місто весни моє, дихає місто весни моє, місто весни моє. Чому ми не можемо забути про сливи? Мабуть, для героїв ми дуже щасливі, стіни і леви нам не дозволяють розвіяти попіл, в якому ніяк не згасають ті сни, у яких я і знову гуляю з тобою по рідному Львову. Там пахне весною і сонце сідає на березі річки, якої давно вже немає. Дихає місто весни моє, місто весни моє. Дихає місто весни моє. Місто весни моє. Thank you so much. I hope that all the vibes are actually going to those people in Ukraine right now who need it the most, so thank you. The next song we picked was an actual national Ukrainian song. It is known for at least a century right now. As far as I remember, 1916 was the first time it was actually like written down, this song exists. So it's called, let's just leave it over there. It's a story about how a girl is waiting for her guy in a garden. You know how all the time back in the days Ukrainians were hanging out, and the garden was the spot, okay? That's where you would meet up your lover. Definitely hiding from your mom, maybe because the trees were actually a good cover, who knows? Anyhow, trying to bring it closer to where we are all sitting and just waiting, right, for our sons, our children, like the Ukraine, to get back to where it should be, right, to the right path. We thought that this should be a good song. We're gonna sing an a cappella. So.
Without music, yes, just with our voices.
Okay. Whenever you're ready. Ой, гаю, придунаю, соловей щебече, він свою всю пташину до гніздечка кличе. Ох, тьох-тьох, і тьох-тьох-тьох, соловей щебече, він свою всю пташину до гніздечка кличе. Ой, у гаю при Дунаю, там музика грає, бас гуде, скрипка плаче, милий мій гуляє. Ой, тьох-тьох, і тьох-тьох-тьох, там музика грає, бас гуде, тужу самотою, плачу тужу, ще ридаю, милий за тобою. Ой, тьох-тьох, і тьох-тьох-тьох,
Соловей
щебече, він свою всю пташину до гніздечка кличе. Ой, тьох-тьох, і тьох-тьох-тьох, там музика грає, бас гуде, скрипка плаче, милий мій гуляє. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Next one is also one of the recent songs of Ukrainian culture. I do remember well, 2016, I was still there, and they had this law on the radio that would promote Ukrainian songs. And after that, you would just like, I was feeling like for a while been suppressed. And now they suddenly had that, okay, half of the song has to be Ukrainian. And then in the months, it was a huge spike. It was beautiful because I was impressed, as if suddenly people started being Ukrainians. So this song is actually from the band who used the lyrics of Ukrainian poet Ivan Franko. It is about the boat, a small boat, you know, the one that you would actually row on. The song written back in the days of Ukrainian occupation, right, and sufferings, it was describing how you shouldn't giving up. You, even though 9 boats are gonna drown in the sea during the storm, yours, 10's boat, might make it. You might make it. So we chose this song because we don't think that there's anything gonna happen that Ukraine is ever gonna give up. І повзає човен,
І воркоче, і бурчить.
Відрізався, я не знаю, чи прийдеться закінчить. Хвиля радісно плюсоче, та остриться до човна, мов дитя цікаве шепче, і розпитує вона. Хто ти, човен, що шукаєш, відки і куди пливеш, і за чим туди шукаєш, що пробув, чого ще ждеш? Біг мій вічний, тож не знаю, хвиля носить, буря рве, скали грозять, натяк просять к собі береги мене. Що тут думать, що тут жити, що питатися про ціль, нині жити, завтра гнити, нині страх, а завтра біль. Кажуть, що природа мати держить нас, як їм там треба, а в кінці мене цілого знов до себе відбере. Хто ти, човен, що шукаєш, відки і куди пливеш, і за чим туди шукаєш, що пробув, чого ще ждеш? Біг мій вічний, тож не знаю, хвиля носить, хвиля рве, скали грозять, натяк просять собі береги мене. Може, іменно helpful. Okay, next song is also a Ukrainian national song, also 100-something plus, almost 150 years old. Many people have been calling this song one of the most lyrics ones, so hopefully we're not going to ruin it and you're actually going to feel everything trembling inside in a good way. We're also going to be singing this one a cappella, so no music. Hopefully you're going to like it.
Ніч, яка місячна, зоряна ясная, видно, хоч голки збирай. Вийди, коханая, працею зморена, хоч на хвилиночку в гай. Сядемо купочці тут під калиною, і над панами я пан. Глянь, моя рибонько, срібною хвилею стелиться полем туман. Гей, чарівний, ніби променем сипаний, чи загадався, чи спить. Ген на стрункій та високій осичині листя пестливо тремтить. Небо незміряне, всипане зорями, що то за Божа краса. Перлами ясними попід тополями грає краплиста роса. Ти не лякайся, що ніженьки босі мочиш в холодну росу. Я тебе вірна, аж до хатиноньки сам на руках однесу. Ти не лякайся, що змерзнеш, лебедонько, тепло ні вітру, ні хмар. Я пригорну тебе до свого серденька, а воно палке, як жар.
Once again, you're all earning points, you know that? But we're gonna make sure we donate later to Ukraine, so. The next song is also one of the Ukrainian national songs. It is pretty much the same scenario, you know, all the troubles people concentrated their attention on back in the days was love, not being able to hang out with the boy of your dreams because he's from a wrong family or because he doesn't know how to ride horses or something else, you know? So in this situation, this is another song where the girl is waiting for the guy and for everything to be, you know, normal and great and living a better life next tomorrow. Леночка, rocket.
Знов зозулі голос чути в лісі, ластівки гніздечко звели в стрісі, а вівчар жене отару плає, тьохнув пісню соловей загає. Всюди буйно квітне черемшина, мов до шлюбу вбралася калина. Вівчара в садочку, в тихому куточку жде дівчина, жде. Всюди буйно квітне черемшина, що п'ють холодну воду. У садочку вівчара зустрічає дівчинонька, що його кохає. Всюди буйно квітне черемшина, мов до шлюбу вбралася калина. Вівчара в садочку, в тихому куточку жде дівчина, жде. Всюди буйно квітне черемшина, мов до шлюбу вбралася калина. Вівчара в садочку, в тихому куточку жде дівчина, жде. Шла вона в садок повз узгори, задивилась на високі гори, де з беріз спадають вранці роси. Цвіт калини приколола в коси. Всюди буйно квітне черемшина, мов до шлюбу вбралася калина. Вівчара в садочку, в тихому куточку жде дівчина, жде. Всюди буйно квітне черемшина, мов до шлюбу вбралася калина. Вівчара в садочку, в тихому куточку жде дівчина, жде.
You actually, I guess, feel how easy it is to fall in love with Ukrainian songs, right? You don't need to know what the words mean, you just feel it. And at last, we also thought to, because so many Ukrainians right now do not have their home, it's not that they lost it, they just can't be there. It's because of that we've chosen this final song as it is. It is also pretty new for Ukraine, and the song is describing the fact that you don't have a home, that you don't have a place to sit down and write down your speech. You don't have a place to think about anything in peace. You don't have your spot. And that is difficult, and I hope that will be fixed extremely soon.
Справа в тому, що в мене немає дому, і за правилом добротою, як за правилом доброго, і згадаю, з якого я племені,
Пригадаю, з якого міста я чекаю на свої гремі. Мені просто немає сісти, написати свою промову. ніколи нічого нікому. Тепер скидію свою колу і більше. Але врешті я втім, якби в мене був дім, я б лишила його на людей, на котів, я б пошила усіх, я б не люблю кутів. Але люди такі, соти задають свої бетонні соти, а де ще ховатись, сохнути людям першого, другого сорту. А люди такі, сотнями в тандемі зі своїми висотками, з третього, сьомого, герцами, сповнюють сенсами. Thank you so much. If you would want to, we would like to also sing a Ukrainian hymn, if you would want to. Ще не вмерла Україна, ні слава, ні воля. Ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Thank you so much. You're doing an amazing thing, just for you to know. I know that, I don't know about you, but I feel personally sometimes that waves of guilt, right? I'm here. Ukraine is so far away, there's nothing I could do. What you're doing already here and now, this is priceless. This is exactly why nobody can look away. So thank you so much. Please keep on doing it.
How does one follow that? We do have a couple of little seconds that we need for a technical thing that's happening. So just give us a couple minutes and then we'll be having Kevin Crofton. So just a couple seconds and we'll be right with you.
Helen mentioned it's the starter. She sent a message.
If everyone could make it back to their seats, that would be great. Just try to keep the aisle free. I think that's the lineup. Sit. My grandmother used to say, upon your sit upon. So if you could find your ways to your seats and sit upon your sit upon, that would be lovely.
All right. I'm going to do two songs here, and this is the English portion of the show. I mean, I'm still just absolutely, completely blown away and moved by just that absolutely wonderful music we just had, and I'm just going to. Okay, well, anyway, this is just a simple little sing-along of the this first part. The second song is a song that I wrote about Ukraine, which I'm very excited to play tonight. But this is, maybe we can kind of join in on your part of the song when it comes, which is what the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. The world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are moonbeams and sunbeams enough to shine. Oh, listen, Lord, if you want to know what the world needs now, it's love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Here comes the mouth trombone. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's been very, very painful for myself, and I know for all of us, just seeing the horrible war crime and atrocity that's been going on over in Ukraine. It's very, very close to me because my partner Lynn and I have a bed and breakfast, and we had two guests stay with us over about a year and a half ago, and that was Daria Tavares and her husband Daniel. And then one day, Daria just knocked on the door and said, "Hi, basically, we would like to move to Canada." And they were living at that time, a year and a half ago, very close to the war zone. And so a long story short, we connected them with our friend Fran Miller, and she was extremely instrumental, along with others in this community, in kind of fast tracking, getting them to here. And they are absolutely just wonderful addition to this community. Daria Daniel and their 5 children, and they are here tonight. And I just like to. So I want to thank Vineet for being so instrumental in making this evening happen as well. This song has a part that you can join in on. I have been going on YouTube and other things to make sure I have the right Ukrainian pronunciation of Ukraine. I think I'm pretty close to it. It's Ukraina. Yes. So there's a part in the song where it would be great if all of us can sing Ukraine in Ukrainian, and it's Ukraina. And so it basically, what if you heard the desperate cry shouting the word Ukraina? So when you hear shouting the word Ukraina, oh, yes. That's great. Okay. What if you saw hundreds of thousands, mothers and babies, fathers and children, endlessly walking, trying to stay hidden? What if you heard the desperate cry, shouting the word Ukraine? What if you knew the name of just one father or brother, elder or son, defending his country at 18 or 60? What if you heard the vigilant cry, shouting the word Ukraine? What if you felt the bombs and the missiles hitting the schools and maternity wards? What if you saw an entire nation rise up in pride and outrage? What if you heard the desperate cry, shouting the word Ukraine? It's not just a cry for the country, it's not just a cry for the land, it's a cry to the whole world over. It's time we all take a stand for Ukraine. What if you saw hundreds of thousands, mothers and babies, fathers and children, endlessly walking, trying to stay hidden? What if you heard the desperate cry, shouting the word Ukraine? Thank you. Wrote that 3 days ago. Just so glad to play that here.
Well, Kevin, that's going to be a #1 hit. All of us are gonna send it all over the world. So, I'm one of the very lucky ones who has Daria as a friend. She and I are on the board of Sewn Together. She's absolutely amazing person. So you'll hear a lot of us talking about Daria. Her and her husband Daniel own Idea Space. If you don't know where that is, it's across from kind of the edge of the mall and the school. It's where the new Kevin. It's where the new building is. Bright yellow signs. If you need to go and have a spot, to have a little meeting, to have a cup of bubble tea, to have something drop in, they're super, super friendly, and we're so lucky to have them in the community. So thank you so much, Kevin. You're now one of my best friends. So coming up next, we have, and I'm gonna walk over just one second. All right, we have the pleasure of having the Anna Graham Quartet. The Anna Graham Quartet.
Hello, everyone. That was just so beautiful up until now. I'm very moved. And I'm so grateful to be here. And we're going to start off with a song by Horace Silver called Peace.
It's very nice to be actually performing in public in front of human beings. I had to find my gig clothes. I just want to introduce James Meager on the bass. John Rule on the drum. Anna Lumiere now on the accordion. My name's Graham Ward. Thank you very much for being here.
We're going to play a couple of Ukrainian folk songs. I'm feeling a little bit on the spot after hearing that beautiful music. And I don't know if we'll be able to do this justice, but we'll do our best. And I realize we're going to have to learn a lot of Ukrainian music coming up. Thank you so much for giving us just a taste. It's so beautiful. Yeah, what a treat.
Okay, now we're going to completely change the mood, and thank you so much for that wonderful applause. We didn't really know what we're getting into. A long, long time ago, I was doing a job in Vancouver. Actually, it was up in the hill on Simon Fraser University. And I was just an employee in the band, and the band leader just threw out a whole bunch of charts, and we were doing a Jewish wedding. And not any of us were Jewish. So we're professional musicians, we can do this. And we played the first song, and someone came up to us and said, "Please, would you not play this music?" So we started playing our rock and roll stuff, and they were so happy.
Okay, well, we got a couple more for you. And this one is one of my favorite Stevie Wonder songs. Just about imagining a better world. It's called Visions. See the milk and honey land, where hate's a dream and love forever stands. Or is this a vision in my mind? Never past, yet somehow men feel they're truly free at last. Have we really gone this far through space and time? Or is this a vision in my mind? Is could a place like this exist, so beautiful? Or do we have to find a wings and fly away to the vision in our mind? But what I'd like to know is could a place like this exist, so beautiful? Or Thank you so much. We got one more for you, and this one we learned from our son. Our son plays violin, and he's in a fiddle group. And this is a Balkan fiddle tune that they learned called Mahalagaska. And Nidhi also, Vineet and Nidhi, they're two on our team. We're gonna have a short break, I think, and there'll be some more great entertainment. And thank you so much to everybody for coming out.
Exactly what Anna says. We're going to take ourselves a bit of a break, stretch your legs, 7 inning stretch. The washrooms are back there if you need them, as well as some water. So take a little break and then we'll call you back.
Just so we get all of your right. That must be a temporary thing. I mean, are these Ukrainians that are immigrant camps, or these Ukrainians that just sit here and wait for the situation in Ukraine is living.
Jimmy just said she was trying to make a
Yeah, database. Yeah.
when I thought of hands to be up on the doorstep. Then you think of, you see, where are all the homes?
We're not going to find anything here about. I think people are just going to kind of, if they want to help out, they have to open up the basement suite and an extra bedroom.
Was it on British news research? Last night, and some woman, I don't know where, Warwickshire, in central England. It's going to have a lot of basement.
I would imagine that many that will come over here for these things to occur will come here and say, I'm going to stay. Groups, I guess, to immigration. Yeah, because they're so efficient already. They're looking for more. I bet. Yeah. Wow.
We
could tell us some stories. Talk about bureaucracy.
No edge. But it took months and months. So the term, as I say, between 16 and 55, sit the desk. It's a system. It can fall into this.
That's the thing, you know, how long is this all going to take for people to break through? Yeah. I think if you have money behind me, that really helps. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, people like us throw a drain on the system.
Apple News today, and which city was in Ukraine? They say, oh, did they cut them? These Russian
I'm recording this or live streaming. This is live streaming. This is for YouTube or Facebook. Okay. It's live streaming on Facebook. Why is Rotary live streaming this?
What's this?
Why is this being streamed from Rotary screen? You have to go from high to
I have no idea what you're talking about. I know that Chris is live streaming.
yeah, but someone gets to get
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do this. Is it, when you live stream, you also record it?
See you. Yeah. See you at the next social if not before.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can play some of the basics.
Ding, 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 ding. If everyone could find their sit-upons, that'd be lovely. Get to feel. That's it. Okay, on your mark and say go. All right, we have the next performer that we're going to have has to catch a ferry, so we'll kind of switch towards her. Now, her name is Elena Nikitina. Now, Elena, her English isn't so good. So she's asked me to be here to fill in the spaces. I might have a bit of a problem with that. Elena? So Elena, are you good? So I'm here if you need me.
Місто спить, згасли вогні, разом гуляли з тобою в ніч. Ми згадка прощання, перше признання, де тепер вони. Ми гадали, зустріч ждали, та пройшли ті дні. Ти сказав, і в час біди дружби такої ніхто не зітре землі. Довга розлука, відповідь мука, ти в душі завжди. Говориш, все покинеш, прийдеш знов сюди. час. Знаю, ти згадував горі мене не раз. Весняні ночі стали коротші, тільки не для нас. Все промине, вдаль полине наш любимий вальс. Наш любимий
Okay, now Elena's going to be joined by, what's your name here? Dennis.
І на світанні сонце і дим, мало хто знає, що ж буде з ним, що буде завтра. Юний думках, в когось надія, а в когось страх. І над плавем похилився, мама, тому ж ми молилися. Скільки ще забере вона твоїх дітей, не твоя війна. Тільки не було, як ніколи, я так не можу, як зможеш ти, покидилися. Мама, йому ж ми молилися, скільки ще забере вона твоїх дітей, не своя вина. Вільна вона покидилися. Мама, йому ж ми молилися, скільки ще забере вона. Не твоя вина.
Now, while Elena's getting all together here, we have a little bit of information for you. We've been told that if you email to info@highbeamdreams.ca, you'll get the link for the auction, which goes to the end of April. We have 12 original pieces of art right now, and they're collecting more. So once you have the link, go back many times. Many. Okay.
Чорнобривці насіяла мати у моїм квітанковім краю, та й навчила веснянки співати про квітучу надію свою. Як на ці чорнобривці погляну, бачу матір стареньку, бачу руки твої, моя мамо, твою ласку я чую рідненька. Я розлуки та зустрічі знаю, бачу я у чужій стороні, чорнобривці із рідного краю, що насіяла ти навесні. Як на ці чорнобривці погляну, бачу матір стареньку, бачу руки твої, моя мамо, твою ласку я чую рідненька. Привітають до нашого полю
nunca. Рідна мати моя, ти ночей не доспала і водила мене у поля край села, і в дорогу далеку ти мене на зорі проводжала. І рушник вишиваний на щастя дала, і в дорогу далеку ти мене на зорі проводжала, і рушник вишиваний на щастя нам долю дала, а на ньому цвіте русалівська доріжка, і поля, і луки солов'їні гаї, і твоя невродлива материнська ласкава усмішка, і засмучені очі хороші твої, і твоя невродлива ласкава усмішка, і засмучені очі хороші блакитні твої. Я візьму той рушник, розстелю наші долю, в твоїм шелесті трав привітаний ти кров, і на тім рушничкові оживеться знайомі до болю, і дитинства розлука, і вірна любов, і на тим рушничкові оживеться знайоме до болю, і дитинства розлука, і вірна любов. І на тим рушничкові оживеться знайоме до болю, і дитинства розлука, і вірна любов. І дитинства розлука, твоя материнська любов. Ти признайся мені, звідки в тебе ті чари, без тебе всі дні, у долоні печалі, може десь у лісах, ти часів чекала, сонце руку знайшла, і мене шарувала. Червону руку не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти горі. Твоя врода, твоя чистая вода, твоя быстрая вода синіх. Бачу я тебе в снах, у тих бровах зелених, по забутих стежках, ти приходиш до мене, і не треба нести мені квітку надії, бо давно вже ти увійшла в мої мрії. Червону руку не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти горі. Бо твоя врода, твоя чистая вода, твоя быстрая вода синіх. Слава Україні! Sing together! 1, 2, 3. Червону руку не шукай вечорами, ти у мене єдина, тільки ти горі. Бо твоя врода, твоя чистая вода, твоя быстрая вода синіх. Твоя быстрая вода синіх. Твоя быстрая вода синіх. Thank you so much.
How lucky are we? We're just seeing whether or not she's gonna take her computer. Thank you. Okay, who else's shoes had dust on them this afternoon when they put them on? Yeah, my feet are not liking the fact they're not in slippers. Yeah. So next we have a lovely person. This is Barbara Alder, who's going to be who's going to be reciting a lovely solo poem.
Okay. Yeah.
Was that not what you were going to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
No
I'm
worries.
sorry. I'm pushy. I came up for the computer before, so I'm just right at home now.
You know, like, I don't have a problem with pushing. Kind of got a bit of that myself. So there you go.
Should I keep? Yeah, there you go. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so my name is Barbara. It's actually Adler. Alder is really common though, and I like it because I like the tree. And I'm Czech. So it's Barbara, and then Adler is German Jewish. My mom's maiden name is Yonasheva. So Czech and Ukraine, they're not the same, obviously, but I feel like maybe a little related, like kind of family, possibly, like cousins, maybe? Can we go with that? Okay. Like there's similarities. I've been looking at all the embroidered shirts in the audience, and I definitely have one. My stepbrother definitely also has one that my stepbrother has one, and my stepmom definitely like very firmly, strongly suggests that he wears it for special occasions. And looking out at the audience, I wonder if maybe some mothers and wives made strong, firm suggestions today about outfits that their children and partners would wear. Maybe we have like strong parents in common. We also, I think, have really sad sounding love songs in common. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the songs tonight have had this kind of like tragic tone, even when they were happy in lyrics. So the kind of like Slavic melancholy, I think we have that in common. Our subject matter, I think, is a bit different. Like the Czech issue in love songs is not so much about the men not knowing how to ride horses. It's like it's like the wrong guy showed up and you have to throw yourself off a bridge and drown yourself. Or in one, my favorite one as a child was this one where the right guy shows up, but you're babysitting your little brother, so you have to poison him by feeding him little fishes. And then you could go on the date, but it's kind of ruined because for the rest of your life, fleas jump on you to punish you. So like it kind of ruins the date in your life. But you know, like tonally, I think we have some things in common. And then also a big thing that, you know, the Czechs and the Slovaks have in common with the Ukraine is that we've also been occupied by Russia. My parents came to Canada as refugees before I was born in '82. And the way that they talk about the feeling of seeing Russian tanks come down their streets and in their homes, I can't even imagine what you're going through. Czechoslovakia wasn't bombed. What we're seeing happen in the Ukraine is a war crime. It's unbelievable, but it's happening. So I want to say that to any of the people from the Ukraine who are here newly, maybe for a while, maybe for a longer time, I really want to welcome you. My family came here as refugees as well, and it's been a good story for us. I'm sorry you're here under these circumstances, but I'm so glad you're here. Hearing these songs tonight has really warmed me. Hearing like this beautiful language spoken has warmed me. So welcome. I'm happy to have more cousins in town. I will find all of the places to get piroshke. I will eat all of them. Thank you for being here. I'm going to share a poem. I'm going to recite a poem that it's about a bit of a different situation, but I want to share it in the spirit of Ukrainians having the right to define their own culture. So however this war turns out, yeah, I celebrate you for your beautiful culture and stay strong. My Czech grandma used to talk about her death the same way most of us say we're doing fine. How are you doing today, Grandma? Oh, I'm going to die soon, thanks. And then your uncle will take all of my things to the curb and burn them. Do you want anything to eat? She grew up during World War II and raised her children while Soviet socialism transformed Czechoslovakia into a carnival of bare cupboards and orchestrated panic so universally well-loved and appreciated that no one was allowed to leave. Naturally, this workers' paradise on earth had enemies, so my grandmother learned to appreciate the private fact of her mortality against the official certainty that an attack was coming from either the Germans or the imperialist Americans, or the Germans acting as the agents of the imperialist Americans. I'm the only person in my family to be born here, and my opinion on these stories balances between believing that my parents escaped communism so that I could grow up without fear, to my dawning conviction that my parents actually escaped so that I could grow up with the luxury of subtlety. I recently realized that my parents raised me to find it nearly impossible to slip a straight statement out of my mouth. And every time I do, I get sucker punched back to when I was 10 and I went with my parents to the Plaza of Nations for Canada Day. I told them I thought the flags were pretty. They said, ah, well, then you would have loved communist Czechoslovakia. Now, it's true, there was always the possibility that your parents would be carted off in the middle of the night to rot in jail or a work camp, but yes, there were lots of flags, many of them brightly colored. My parents take subtle to mean that they're sledgehammers who leave it up to you to figure out what they're knocking down. They're opposed to easy answers, or at least I think so. They haven't actually told me, but it's all starting to come clear. It's like my dad's approach to power, which is demonstrated every time I have a new guy over for dinner. My dad will pile these massive helpings of food onto the plate until the guy's face is in shadow because there's like this tower of schnitzel blocking out all the light in the room. My dad will wait until the guy's choked down the last mouthful and he'll do the following, which I've made into a hand puppet show so that we can keep track of the accents. So this is my dad, this is the guy. Barbara's stepmother worked herself to the bone preparing this little meal, and you don't even like it. Oh no, I like it. I just don't normally eat so much. You eat like a little bird, do you? What? A bird? Oh, you're saying the food is not very good here. Is that it? No. Then perhaps we are trying to poison you. Is that it? No. Then perhaps this. Perhaps you're rushing your meal so you can go have unprotected sex with my youngest daughter. No. Oh, she's not good enough for you. No, then say you eat like a little bird. I eat like a little bird, a teensy tiny, whiny little bird. I eat like a teensy tiny, and flap, what? Flap your wings, little bird. Canadians, so literal. So my dad can get away with this because he's tall and has an accent, which makes him terrifying to Canadian-born Canadians. Even though the angriest he ever really gets is when the cats jump onto the dinner table and he yells at them, "Oh, you are such a bad cat." As your kiss. A few years ago, my mom visited Cuba and she found herself in one of those stores that was carpeted red and black with enough Che Guevara faces to outfit an entire collective of North American teenagers finding themselves. She walked up to the register and she pointed to a bandana that had Che's face on it. And she said, "Who is this guy? Is he like a Cuban movie star or a singer or something?" And then she left quickly before the girl could retrieve her face from where it had melted into the floor tiles. Not many of my friends understand this story, which in itself is part of that story. My mom told me that she visited Cuba and feigned ignorance of the world's most famous revolutionary because one of her dreams growing up in communist Czechoslovakia was that someone would sneak in from the West and not understand any of it. The gardens growing camouflage, the circus of nationalism transforming the walls of modernist cheesebox apartment buildings into endless swan songs of celebration and righteous apocalypse. The people all saying, "How are you doing today, stranger?" And everyone whispering back, "I'm gonna die soon, thanks." And then this pantomime of cogs will forget us. My mom got to do that herself after 27 years in Canada, and her telling me this story was her clearest way of demonstrating there is nothing more brave or free than allowing others the space to misunderstand you. Better spoken, but rock stern hammers. My parents are teaching me to shun or question megaphones and to listen instead to their stories. So brazen with subtlety, they could only be made in a country that doesn't yet fear the shape of its own intricate tongues. I'm gonna go, but I just want to say I've almost cried like 20 times tonight, and probably lots of you have as well. It's been really beautiful. But every time I wanted to cry, then I'd have a chance to like move a table or something, you know, like we got to move tables together and we got to like help the whatever, like we're pitching in. And I want to really thank Vineet and Nidhi and everyone who's kind of part of High Beam Dreams and part of putting this show on tonight for giving us this opportunity to do something with all these feelings that we have and with this tragedy that is happening. So thank you for making the space, and for everyone coming. I'm going to please welcome the MC back to the stage because I've made the ending really ambiguous. Hooray!
Okay, how do you follow that? No worries. So having heard that, it made me remember something. I'm originally from Nova Scotia. So every now and then my accent will come out. But I was born in a very special house that was built in 1762. It still stands. It's now pink and an Airbnb. But in the basement is a hidden cellar because it was the end of the Underground Railroad. So I grew up with this special cellar and right until I was born in the dinosaurs roamed. But I remember my grandmother still hiding things down there. So there's a little bit of story in all of our history that helps us to understand what's going on. My great-grandparents saved people the best that they could and not knowing what else to do. We're in the same situation, not knowing what to do, how we can help. Well, everybody's helping here tonight, the different messages that I've given you, what websites to go to and all that kind of stuff. If you can't remember, hunt us down, we'll give it to you again, right? So at this time, we're going to welcome Wanda and Michael Friedman. And I have no idea what they're going to do, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Hi, I'm Wanda.
Can I have one, my little phone?
Where's Waldo? No. Just really on her face.
Right.
Brother.
Fish name was.
Check, 1, 2, okay.
Check, 1, 2.
This is Peter Leeds doing the sound.
Yeah.
So we've asked Graham Ord to join us on this song. His name is not Wanda, and her last name is not Friedman. This is Wanda Nowicki.
And this is Michael Friedman. So I had the opportunity to visit Ukraine in 1999 with my father. My father's Polish, and the town that he was born in was part of Poland, which is now part of Ukraine. And so I did stay with my second cousins there. And I'm going to dedicate this song to them, the Pirogov family, and that would be Eva, Oleg, Igor, and Nikolai Pirogov in Seattle. Maybe we should talk later, but I don't speak Ukrainian. So. There are some folks I used to know who used to smile and say hello and spin the world and turn the page, entertaining from the stage, Father Time forever true. He loves his own and me and you. We disappear just like the sun when the day is done. The world is falling down. Hold my hand. It's a lonely sound. Hold my hand. We'll follow the breeze. We're gonna go like the wind. Look for a place where the willows bend. The world is falling down. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Summer's gone and winter's here. We had a lot of rain last year. The news is really very sad. The time is late, the fruit is bad. Morning comes and roosters crow, but people have no place to go. They disappear just like the sun when the day is done. The world is falling down. Hold my hand. It's a lonely sound. Hold my hand. We'll follow the sun. We're gonna live for the day and look for a place where the children play. The world is falling down. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Summer's gone and winter's here. We had a lot of rain last year. The news is really very sad. The time is late, the fruit is bad. Morning comes and roosters crow. People have no place to go. They disappear just like the sun when the day is done. The world is falling down. Hold my hold my hand, hold my hand. The world is falling down, hold my hand, hold my hand, hold my hand, hold my hand.
So I too have a direct link to family link to Ukraine and my family on both my grandmother's sides. One grandmother family was from Odessa, and the other was from a little town called Vilatin, which is not far from Lviv. And they left, well, 120 years ago. But when I hear the music that has been played tonight and many of the melodies, they go straight to somewhere beyond the heart, beyond. The song was written in the last big wave when war struck Syria and war was still going on in Afghanistan, of course, and in Iraq. And there were hundreds of thousands of people who were displaced from their homes, bombed, and seeing their lives in ruins, fled to Europe. And when I got to Frankfurt, the airport, I was on tour. This is 2015. And I saw just row on row, double row of field cots set out as far as the eye could see, just for the people that were arriving in Germany by plane. And Germany was one of the very few places that those people found refuge in that time. And now we're seeing another huge flood of people seeking refuge from a war a little closer to home in Europe, in Ukraine. And fortunately for them, the doors have opened, and we hope that those doors will open a little wider here in Canada as well. So I wrote this song, and it fits very, very well into the scenario that is happening today. It's called The River. Sustaining life, it knows no harm. We're on it, beyond mere words, runs through our lives, a jewel. Under the sun, it turns to gold. Then shining silver with the moon. Still teeming at the heart of it all, the river, winding its way out to the sea. Look again, it's taken on a human face, this river, sharing a longing to free. When all pretense is stripped away, revealing the city's bond lies in ruin for power. All of those souls, they have become a river. What's lost to one is lost to all. Still teeming at the heart of it all, the river, winding its way out to the sea. Look again, it's taken on a human face, this river, sharing a longing to be free. How many tears does it take to cry a river? How deep runs our humanity? Reaching its banks, it carries on. The river, as it has done for centuries, still teeming at the heart of it all, the river, winding its way out to the sea. Look again, it's taken on a human face, this river, sharing a longing to be free. I'm going to take a little moment to check my tuning, so I'm sure. You know, when the BBC broadcast in Europe via shortwave radio, or their call sign, we have call letters in North America, but in Europe, all the radio stations have either a piece of music, it is a piece of music. And in the case of the BBC, when they were broadcasting throughout Europe, and specifically to Germany during the Second World War, what you heard were the timpanis going boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. You know what that is? It's Beethoven's Fifth, right? Da, 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 right? So they were sending a message to Germany. And I believe that hidden in that was something that they were reminding Germans, don't let go of your humanity. Don't let go of the greatness of your nation. Don't let it go. Don't hand it over to Adolf Hitler. on a silver platter. Well, what we're going to do right now is we're going to sing a song, and we're going to broadcast a little bit of Prokofiev in the direction of Russia. This is called Russians. In Europe and America, there's a growing feeling of hysteria, conditioned to respond to all the threats and the rhetorical speeches of the Soviets. Mr. Khrushchev said, "We will bury you." I don't subscribe to this point of view. It'd be such an ignorant thing to do if the Russians love their children too. How can I save my little boy from Oppenheimer's deadly toy? There is no monopoly on common sense on either side of the political fence. We should save biology, regardless of ideology. Believe me when I say to you, I hope the Russians love their children too. There is no historical precedent to put the words in the mouth of the president. There's no such thing as a winnable war. It's a lie we don't believe anymore. We share the same biology, regardless of ideology. And what might save us, me and you, is if the Russians love their children too.
This is a song that I used to sing decades ago in Los Angeles, and one of my band members wrote it. I don't remember what was going on at the time, but it was something that made him write this song. And I have found in 30 years, there always seems to be another reason to sing it, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's a beautiful song, but it's unfortunate that there's always something happening that this song is appropriate for. Love and pain, sun and rain, goes in stages, not much changes, rich or poor, back and forth, maybe to and fro. It's round and around they go when I'm all spun out. I am all spun out, all spun out these days. Wishing well, mission bell. One is dying, one is born. Some will dance while others mourn.